Whoop.
What's going on? Welcome to Wednesday Walks with Drew. This is part 2, episode 2. This is Anthony
Round
right
2.
here. I'm Drew. It's Wednesday. Let's walk. It's a little rainy today, so we decided not to go around the lake. All right, we're actually going to walk on the sidewalk today. Keep it dry, keep it simple, and head up to our staff building. Probably say what's up to a few people, and then turn around and head back to our worship center. But thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely. You'll probably notice our video is a little bit smoother today.
Yeah, tell them about what we got.
I did some research, and gimbals. I knew that gimbals were like a big thing,
right?
Like they were
Speaking
huge.
of big, your head's cut off.
I know.
Let's get the shot. Hey,
I know.
There it is.
No,
All right, cool.
Like,
Let's show people just how tall. Much
yeah, we'll have
taller
to get a stick.
It's awesome.
But yeah, like I knew that gimbals were like a really big thing,
right?
But phone gimbals are making their way. You've got companies, DJI, who makes all those fantastic drones.
Right, of course.
You've got Osmo. No, DJI and Osmo are the same thing. Evo.
Yeah.
You've got Flow Motion.
Yeah.
And so all these different companies. And so I found this one. It's from a company called Zuru, something like that. It's some Chinese company.
Yep.
I'll have to. I'll post a link in the description below.
Oh wow! Look at you.
Yeah,
cool.
we'll do that, and it's like, hey, you send us free stuff. Cool. But yeah, that's. I picked one of these up. This one was $100.
Cool.
Compared to.
Compared
others.
to most that I've seen that are like $250 and up.
So yeah,
it's a really good deal.
So yeah,
and as you can tell, I mean, it's really smooth.
Everything's
very smooth.
Is so much smoother, and it just looks a lot better.
Absolutely.
Looks like we know what we're doing.
So we listened to some of the feedback you guys gave us on part 1. Thanks for that, by the way.
Absolutely.
Some of the feedback was it was a little windy, so we got a windscreen. The other feedback was it was a little shaky, and it was our first installment of it. So we do appreciate you guys letting us know and giving some feedback there. So keep that up.
Absolutely.
Keep engaging with us, and we're gonna keep listening to you and doing whatever we can to make this video fun for everybody.
Absolutely. So, all right. So, as per usual, I was in charge. I was in charge of questions.
And we did not talk about the questions this time. Last time I
not.
had a little bit of a heads up, but I have no idea what
because we did our practice lap around the lake,
so
and I was
no
like,
idea
so tell me about infrastructure or whatever.
Right. So I have no idea what's coming right now.
So, we'll take it easy first.
Okay.
So, basically, like, just talk about yourself for a little bit.
Talk about myself?
Yeah, just talk about yourself.
Just
just general.
Okay.
Your family. Stuff like that.
All right. Cool. So, we'll start with my wife, Bryn. Okay. That's another. Hey, there it is. All right. So, start with my wife, Bryn. All right. We've been married for. Look at you putting me on the spot. We've been married for 5 years this April, right? Yeah, 5 years, April 12th. So pretty crazy. We have a 3-week-old Rylan.
Brand new baby.
And that's probably why I'm not able to think that great.
Right.
Sleep. Right, exactly. Let's see. A little bit about myself. This is crazy. I love music. I'm pastor of worship here. We want to go this way?
Yeah.
I love cars. I love sports. I love, rotate device.
There we go.
New equipment. How do we want to go? Let's go to the right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the right. Cool?
Yeah.
Can we do that? Awesome. Yeah. New equipment. This is what happens.
Yeah, getting used to it.
Yeah. Let's see. Man, this is crazy. I'm just like a really passionate, energetic person.
Like
whatever.
Y'all don't believe.
Right? Like whatever. I feel like whatever you do with your life, and I'm not just talking about work, but just like in anything, whatever you do, you need to go full throttle.
Yep.
And you need to go all out. And there's no point in my opinion, wasting time over worrying about what people think or what people might say about you. It's your life. You need to live it. And so I try to do that. And that in everything I do, whether it's music or God or family, or, like I mentioned before, sports cars, whatever. I try to do it to the fullest.
Absolutely.
So that would probably be a good summary of me, I would imagine.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't really
still getting used to the controls
easy,
on this thing.
Well, it's easy when we're going on the path of the lake because we know exactly where we're going. But right now we're just kind of walking through random parking lots
and also playing with new technology.
Right.
And
so
I was on his right, and now
you're on the left.
Because
hey,
and so we'll get a poll or something.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah. It'll be easier.
All right. So now here's the hard question.
Okay.
So in every church, you're gonna have. You're gonna have things that may work, may not work.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, off the top of your head,
yes,
without even thinking about it,
okay.
3 things that churches do really, really well, and 3 things that churches, could work on.
Ooh.
Yeah, how about that
3
one?
3 things that churches do really well. 3 things that I think. Okay, so it's hard for me to make a blanket statement and say that all churches do this really well or all churches don't do this really well.
Okay. So how about this? Let's say let's change things that they don't do well to. I just had it too.
You're okay. Let's keep it. We can keep it. I think I can figure out a way to do this.
Okay.
I think here's the biggie. The first thing that churches usually do pretty well is talk about the future. Talk about vision, mission, where they're headed. And that's because it's fun, right? Let's be real. It's so much fun to talk about, my kid's 3 weeks old. It's so much fun to think about what she's going to be like when she's 3 years old. It's so much fun to think about what she's going to be like, what her personality is going to be like. We love talking and thinking about the future. So a lot of churches do that really well.
Right.
But in the same aspect, a lot of churches, that feeds what they don't do well. And what a lot of churches don't do well is leaving behind what is necessary in order to get to this future and this vision that they talk about so freely.
Right.
And it's so easy to talk about. It's hard to do though. And so I think churches need to keep pressing on, keep talking about the future, keep casting vision. Your congregation needs to know where you're headed in every ministry, in every aspect. They need to know because that's the exciting part, where we're going, and you get to celebrate along the way all that God is doing. But you have to be bold enough. You have to be bold enough to leave behind what is necessary in order to get there, change what is necessary in order to get there. And so I would say those go hand in hand. Let's see, what else do churches do well, or some churches do well? I think anytime a church can impact the community, that's really what we're called to do. Churches that are inward focused, that are focused on what happens within their 4 walls and are focused on what happens to the people that have accepted Jesus Christ and are committed to going to their church, they become a very exclusive church, and that can be difficult in growth, and that can be difficult in moving forward, and that can be difficult in just really living up to what God's called us to, and that is reach the lost, right?
Absolutely.
So
help
I
the
think,
community, stuff
right,
like that.
Exactly. So churches have to really focus on things going on, people that are outside of their walls. You got to reach the lost. We have to disciple the people that are inside our walls and lead them to reach the lost, but then we also have to keep doing our part of reaching the lost. So that's another one of those. Some churches do that really well. Some churches become very exclusive,
right,
and it just doesn't pan out the way. And if I have to name a third one, give me a second here. Let's see, another thing that churches do really well, and something that maybe they also leads to maybe them not doing it so well. Man, this is hard.
Yeah.
It really is, but I'm going to come up with it. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to get it here. So the third thing I would say churches well, I would say what they don't do well, communication.
Okay.
But also understand this is a very difficult thing. Okay, and let me tell you why. So I'm gonna say why churches struggle with communication, because it's so easy to just go, well, churches stink at communication, and that leads to so many problems. But from working and being in a church and also being everywhere from a congregation member to a volunteer to on staff, you start figuring out why that is so difficult. So right now, you and I, we're at church, right?
Exactly.
And every day, it seems, we are at church in some capacity. Even if you're not at the church physically, mentally, you're there. And so during the day, you're constantly dreaming. You're constantly coming up with new things that you can do. And you make so many decisions a day. And let's talk, me and you and what we've been talking about for Easter, all the tech stuff and all the, let's just go around the square a few times, all the tech stuff and all the different things that we're trying to accomplish, from a video to lead up to Easter, to a bumper video, to the video that we've got at the beginning, to all the worship, to the marketing aspect of it. We're talking about a ton of different things. And sometimes, because you're making so many decisions so fast, stuff gets lost. So what I would encourage churches to do out there, you definitely want to over communicate, but here's what's important. It's not only about communicating your decision, it's about communicating the why.
Yep.
It always comes back to the why, because here's why.
Here's why.
If you and I disagree on a decision that is being made, and I can't answer the why, then that becomes a very serious disagreement. And that allows you to almost get in a position where you could get angry, or I could get angry, and that's not a healthy conversation. But if I start out with the why, if I explain my purpose and my intent and what we're trying to accomplish, and I put all of that up front so that you know ahead of time that this has been well thought out and that we really are just trying our best. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to make 100 decisions and you agree with 100 of them. But if I make 100 decisions and always have a purpose and intent and a why behind it, even if you disagree, it's hard to really fault that person. It's hard to knock that person. So as a church, communication a lot of times is a struggle. But I'm telling you guys, answer the why. You have to answer the why in all things, all events, everything, literally everything, events, decisions about budget, decisions about staff, decisions about where we're headed, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. You just got to always have that why. And I think that leads to constructive conversations, and even people that have some disagreements, they don't feel left out,
right.
And two, they feel like you're at least putting the intent in it. And that's the thing that's so difficult. People see church staff on Sundays. Well, you don't see us Monday through Saturday a lot of times. I'm sure there's other times you see us in events and things like that, but the majority doesn't see us Monday through Saturday. Sunday rolls around, you see us, we've made 30 decisions during the week.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we have to be able to explain the why and the intent and the purpose behind it. And, you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be flawless. You're never going to be able to communicate everything. There's always going to be something that falls through the cracks, just like any relationship. My wife and I try everything we can to communicate with each other, but there's always times that little things might fall through the cracks. So we try to always give each other the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's the other thing. The responsibility of the staff has got to be to communicate the why, but the responsibility of the congregation has got to be, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt, and you got to be
right.
gracious, you got to be forgiving, you got to be loving. You have to understand that just like any business, we're doing everything we can, doing the best we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at that. 3 things right off the top.
Boom. 3 things right off the top.
Pretty crazy.
And yeah, that was
long.
That was 2. That was technically like 2 questions.
Yeah. And we're back.
We're back. Yeah, we're
so
back.
Maybe this is a quick episode.
Our lovely.
Yeah, our worship center. That's so cool. I love the little phone drone.
Oh yeah,
whatever it is.
Gimbal.
I call it a phone drone.
Phone drone. It is
not a phone drone.
It's not a phone drone.
It is to me.
I mean,
whatever. Thank you guys for joining in. Wednesday Walks with Drew Part 2. We will see you. Oh, by the way, if you like this video or liked our Part 1 or anything like that, make sure you subscribe, comment below, let us know where you're listening from, checking in from, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.